Welcome, everybody, to Radicalized Truth Survives. I'm Heidi Kuda, and today Jim and Hi-Fi and I are interviewing Zarina Zabrisky. She needs no introduction. She's been on the show multiple times. We're going to be talking about some bombshell reports that back up her reporting from the last year about the human rights violations occurring in Kherson, Ukraine, with the human safari of hunting civilians with drones, which Russians have been doing for a year now. And these reports really spell out these crimes against humanity, plus the latest round of devastation in Kherson. What you're going to see is that devastation. We're going to open with some footage that just occurred right now.
Злобин, 10 человек погиб.
Вот. А сегодня был утренний удар кабом. Ну, было взрывов несколько. Вчера вечером был удар сильный, а я боюсь тут уже и находиться, потому что тут страшно находиться в этом месте. Тут это у меня уже окна, стены уже разбиты, блядь, 10 или 15 раз.
Welcome back, Zarina Zabrisky. Our viewers do not need an introduction. We know that you're a war correspondent, a novelist, and now a filmmaker. But let's start with the breaking news of what we just saw.
Hi, Heidi, Hi-Fi, Jim, everyone. Just a note, I'm currently not reporting from the grounds in Kherson. I'm back home in the United States on personal business. I will be returning back. As of now, I've got reports from colleagues, journalists, my neighbors, my friends in Kherson. At 5:20 in the morning, 4 aerial bombs, aerial guided bombs, hit downtown Kherson, badly damaging the iconic building on Freedom Square, the building known for the protests that were happening there when Russians first occupied Kherson, and also for the liberation festivities for when Russians were kicked out across the Dnieper River. So the area around what is called White House was also very badly destroyed and damaged, and that includes a vital grocery store, the postal office, and civilian infrastructure. Several cars burned down. The downtown of Kherson, as you could see in the video, looked like Armageddon is here. Soon after that, several hours after that, just 2 hours from now, as we speak, 2 more aerial bombs. One, I know for a fact, is 1,500 kilograms bomb, hit the White House, the iconic building at Freedom Square, again, completely collapsing it, destroying it. So now in the middle of Freedom Square, and with the prospect of independence, we have a ruined building. The spirit of Khersonians is not ruined. I spoke to many. They even managed to joke and say that, well, they helped us. Now we don't have to disassemble the whole thing. It will be easier to rebuild. I want to note here that Kherson stands strong. Now, the important follow-up, I look at what the Russians are reporting region about it. And there is a basically a formal representation of the Russian authorities in the occupied part of Kherson region. And they've posted the following. They said that more will follow, more likely 3,000 kilograms bomb for the first time will be dropped on Kherson. They threatened the rescuers and said that the rescuers will be the target. They will be killed if they approach the sites. And they also, most importantly, probably here, said that Putin himself personally follows the devastation of Kherson. There's a post, there's a link to it. I have it. I will follow up with the article with all the sources. They also published the videos of aerial videos shot by drones of the explosions all around Kherson, because the drones followed immediately after the aerial bomb attacks, and that was followed by artillery. Now, all of this is most possibly the response to several things. One of them you might have heard that by now already is famous spiderweb operation, which badly damaged Russian Air Force by Ukrainian drones. But there were two other events that were overlooked behind all the other events that were happening this week. But they are very important. Both United Nations Inquiry Committee and Human Rights Watch teams independently published reports, one on the 28th of May and another one on the 2nd of June, confirming that the human safari, as you have heard me reporting on this program for almost a year, the small commercial drones attack on civilians, qualify not just as war crimes, but also the crimes against humanity. And there's a distinction between these two crimes. The crime against humanity proves that the crime is committed in a sustained, organized manner and is performed by the Russian state. And both reports asked for accountability. Neither of these bodies have a mandate to prosecute, but they call for prosecution. Especially Human Rights Watch report calls for the legal bodies, for the international courts to impose necessary sanctions, because the report says if this does not happen, every city and every settlement in the war zone will look like Kherson looks today.
Zarina, thank you so much always for your reporting, and thank you for your diligence on making the world understand what was happening in Kherson with the hunting of civilians with drones. I know that the work that you have done has been so important to our understanding, and I think to raising global awareness, because I believe you were the only reporter reporting from Kherson at the time that it started. So I thank you for that. Can you please explain to our viewers why Kherson is so geopolitically important and why these attacks just continue?
Thank you, Heidi. An excellent question. And here we can refresh the subject I know we spoke about on this show before. Kherson is very important strategically. Its location is critical for the Russians to move further to the seaports of Mykolaiv and Odessa, and that could create the site and the grounds to move further to Transnistria and Moldova, and possibly further to NATO countries. And the Russian programs and Russian officials have discussed it ad nauseum in the beginning of the full-scale invasion, and the theme continues now. Without Kherson, they wouldn't be able to proceed. Kherson is equally important for the Ukrainians to proceed liberating the occupied territories because of its closeness, of its proximity to the Crimea Peninsula annexed by the Russian Federation in 2014. And whoever wins Crimea wins the war. That is sort of known between anybody who follows the war. Crimea is considered a pearl in the crown of the Russian Empire. So it has the ideological and symbolical meaning and value in addition to military and strategic. And there's a whole bunch of economic reasons, such as water supplies, but we don't have time to go into that now.
Thank you so much for that, Jim.
Hey, Zarina, thanks for being here and all of your work. Uh, I was just curious, in America, the spiderweb operation has revealed a lot of revealed a fracture. There are elements in America who are upset with Zelensky for attacking the air bases inside of Russia. I like to remind people that Belaya is closer to Alaska than Kiev. Um, I just wanted to get your impression since you're familiar with both the Ukrainian perspective and the American perspective, um, how that operation has kind of changed the perception of things. Because in America, I think it has really sort of clarified, at least for me, where people are sitting in terms of whether or not the United States should support Ukraine.
Right. Well, I think this is an excellent question and a complicated one, and I can
Sorry, I know.
now briefly. Such a successful operation obviously boosts morale, and morale is the most important factor in winning the war. Because we are in the hybrid war, as we always say here, and the main goal of hybrid war of combat propaganda, as I've been telling you before, is demoralization of the army and population of the adversary. And right now, the population is feeling way more confident in Ukraine because, not to quote Trump, but Zelensky has shown that Ukraine has cards, that he has cards, the proverbial cards. So it's hence a lot of memes going around, Zelensky wearing a suit with cards and so on and so forth. So that in that sense, it was very important for Ukrainian society, exhausted by daily and nightly attacks. Obviously, nobody in Ukraine has any negative feelings about the separation. So, whoever has negative feelings about the separation in America has been subjected and fallen to the Russian brainwashing.
Thank you.
Brilliant response. I love
Thank
that
you.
about the boosting of the morale. High fidelity.
That's, by the way, how I felt as well. One of the most incredible military feats in history, really. I mean, to destroy a third of Putin's long-range bomber fleet inside his country, after an 18-month operation that zero people knew about, is mind-blowing. And I just wanted to say that out loud and congratulate the Ukrainian people for that. So
Thank
go
you.
ahead, high five.
All right. So, we were one of the few people who talked to you uh, from the media about the human safari in Kherson and what has now been rightly labeled a crime against humanity and a war crime. I've given up on American media. American media isn't covering it. I don't understand why American media isn't screaming from the rooftops, Putin's committing crimes against humanity. It makes no sense. So I've given up on America because obviously we're either incompetent or complicit, the media in this country. So in Europe, uh, is Europe acknowledging the severity of what uh, Russia and Putin are doing in Kherson? Are they starting to release the frozen assets of the Russians? Are they starting to give more weapons? Are they supporting Ukraine more? And were they as shocked and surprised and impressed with the drone attack as I was?
Great question. And I do spend time in Europe as well. Regretfully, I have to admit that there's no much difference between the coverage in the States and Europe and the UK. They all are blissfully oblivious. And this is a huge mistake because, as the report said, this will be the future of humanity if it's not stopped now. The reason for it, it can't be just infiltration by the Russians and journalists being bought because there are way too many publications outlets. It's just overall incompetence. This combination of the chaos in the world, which is a part of the plan, and the plan of the rapid fire technique. It's a hybrid war tactic. So the press is confused and can't follow anything. The news cycle from 24 hours turned into 24 minutes, if that. And so nobody is able to have any kind of attention span that would allow for the global community to focus on anything really. So we all are a bit delirious now and in this feverish state of mind where horrific war crimes just keep coming and coming, and it is like all one continuous nightmare, which is not new. That happened, during World War wars before, and it continues now, but it is not acknowledged. And also, there's quite a bit of conscious effort to undermine the press. We know that in the UK, the whole thing with the Observer and the Guardian being bought, and we also know that the press has been shut down in the United States. And there are very few independent outlets. I mean, right now, the Voice of America and Radio Liberty and Freedom, all of this have been shut down and underfunded, and that's a part of the effort to shut down the press. So yeah, so they're both, the effort to shut down the press and the incompetence and the confusion of journalists ourselves, right? We're incapable of delivering the message. So that's the combination. As far as this other part of the question, is Europe helping more? To be honest with you, I didn't have time with the night bombing of Kherson to go in detail through the Ramstein meeting that happened yesterday. All I can tell you is that was the first Ramstein format meeting on which the head of Pentagon was missing, which is scandalous because these Ramstein format meetings, in case you don't know about them, they were started by the head of the Pentagon. They were started by the United States under the previous administration. So now it was headed, as far as I know, by Germany and England. And I know that some funds were discussed, but I'm unable to give you the number. We'll have to look into the reports.
Thank you so much, everybody. And that kind of leads me, Hi-Fi, that was a perfect final question. That leads me to what I would like us to end with. Zarina, because of the urgency of waking up the world, you became a filmmaker. You've done this incredible documentary, Kherson Human Safari. The RadPod community has contributed to make sure that that film got made, and you have just finished this incredible trailer where we get to see these incredible everyday heroes going through life in a war zone, rescuing people, surviving, and still living their life. You do a beautiful job of poetically interweaving this young dancer throughout. And we'd like to debut on RadPod the final cut of your trailer now. Can you just give us a quick intro, please?
Yes, what you're about to see was shot by, as a director of photography, Alexander Andrushenko, who spent the last 24 hours running around the city and filming the bombing sites, sending me the updates. One of the main characters, Volodymyr, we spoke about him on the shows before. He's, one major part of the film. He was also walking. He couldn't drive because the drones were all over. You can only walk. He walked for 2 hours to film the devastation. You could see the updates and his videos on my Twitter and Facebook and all social media I shared. Then another young couple of journalists who are also the characters in the film were at the square when the second batch of aerial bombs hit. They were right there, and they were like lying on the ground hiding, and luckily they survived. And so it did not stop. The trailer is beautiful. We had an incredible team, and the music to this trailer is written by the composer who joined the resistance and was a partisan during the occupation. I am not sure. I didn't speak to him yet. I know he's okay, but I don't know what he was doing today, but probably also filming or helping or volunteering, risking. Anyone who is there out in the open or inside is risking their life. So the film is out, but the war didn't stop. The destruction of Kherson continues, and it has been now confirmed as a subject of war crimes and crimes against humanity. And we as a global community need to do anything in our power to help to stop it. And of course, it doesn't pertain just to Kherson. We're talking about the whole country of Ukraine and any other area when war is ongoing. But because I was reporting from Kherson and other places that I write about, I'm talking right now about Kherson. Also because the last night attack, I can say with the 99% assurance was the reply, Putin's response to Spiderweb operation, Human Rights Watch report, and United Nations report. They're saying, oh, you're saying we're criminals? Let us show what we can do. They crossed the line.
Yes, as I wrote to you earlier, there seems to be absolutely no bottom. We will post the links to the Human Rights Report. We will post the links to the United Nations report, as well as the trailer. And we ask all of our viewers to please share the trailer far and wide so people can be aware of this film when it's ready to be viewed. Zarina Zabrisky, thank you so much for being with us here today. Stay safe. And again, we are so grateful you took the time to update our community.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
A little dream of
Началась война. Обстріл, просто какой-то хаос в городе.
Всі хотіли воювати, були готові воювати там з лопатою, з ножом, з палкою, з охотничьим ружьом.
Тисячі херсонців на центральній площі.
Вообще жесть, вилізти на русский БТР.
Я тоже не бессмертна, но не страх, а злость.
По ночам ходили, стреляли просто потому, что пьяные были.
С той стороны не выпускали поехать в Херсон. И под автоматами.
я теперь такой, знаешь, такой свобода.
Весь город, грубо говоря, это большой тир, а ты в нем мишень.
Так кто же там взорвал? Зачем взорвали? Русские взорвали. Ого! Ебать!
Сафарі на людей йде.
Здається, як дуже багато бджіл. Насправді це дрони.
Не вспіли, може кинути.
Они говорят, что они победили нацизм. Нет. Они забрали его себе.
Пока мир спит, мы здесь умираем.